Okay. Well, this is my first presentation with this iPhone. Okay. And first, I want to introduce myself. I'm Fang from Huawei Sub-Sahara Computing Solution Department. I'm the CTO of this department. And I have been worked in Huawei more than 15 years. And in 2018, I started my computing business career in Huawei Computing Solution Department, and I have need a lot of successful AI project, and with our partner together deliver to our customer with very high value, and today my presentation topic of my presentation is empowering the AI future. You can say in today's everything and everyone are talking about data and AI, and so what I'm thinking about is that, and also this why all of you here, and what we are thinking about AI create real value for our customers. This is, I think, is a big challenge, and everyone use ChatGPT, use OpenAI just for conversation, just for chat, and get some knowledge, get some information. But I want to talk more about our core vision is how AI to bring can make the real value for AI. That means AI will enter the production area for every industry. Okay, I will continue my presentation. And in this presentation, there will be three key areas. And first, I will to introduction about the AI market insight and the trends, and that means currently our AI heading off, and also the future about the AI. And secondary, we will talk about Huawei the AI solution and the real world practice. That means how these solutions change to outcomes for our customers. And the third part is about Huawei the AI strategy and the ecosystem, because we know that the technology is not enough. We need to cooperation together to design our solutions and deliver to our customers and to make revenue and create value for our customers. Okay. First, let's take our time to review and how far we have come from. And we all know the journey of AI began in 1956 in a Dartmouth conference. And in this conference, the concept of artificial intelligence was born, and it then developed more than 20 or 30, more than 2 decades years. And then in 2017, Google published the very famous paper, "Attention is all you need." Then it brings the transformer architecture. Then the era of large language models began, and currently nearly all large language models is based on transformer architectures, including ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and every large language model. So, and now we think we are standing at the doorstep of next era of AI, AGI world. That means the generative AI. So we think from this trend, I don't want to talk about more about Huawei, because maybe a lot of guys are very familiar with the Huawei's portfolio, such as the wireless, mobile phone, routers, and switch. But you are not very familiar with our Huawei's AI portfolio. But I just want to talk more about Huawei began our AI journey from 2018. And in 2018, we released our AI first generation AI chipset to public. And then in the last 8 years, we have been released 4 generations AI portfolios and servers every industrial customers, from manufacturing to finance, from healthcare to smart cities, and also around the world, not only in China. Yes, we have delivered a lot of solutions to Chinese customers, but at the same time, we also delivered our AI portfolios around the world. Maybe in future will be delivered in Nigeria. Okay. Then we have talked about, have a review about the history of large language models. So what's the trends of large language models? We think we have two trends. First one is the Chinese open source models is leading AI in very large scale, and it will be deployment and enabling across every industry. As we know, currently in the top 10 SOTA level, state-of-the-art large language models, in top 10 of the SOTA level large language models, there are more than 6 are from China, including DeepSeek, Q1, GLM, and Kinvin, and it's all open source to public. That means everyone, every developer, every partner can download these open source modules and modify it and deploy it on premise. At the same time, the performance of these AI large language models is very close to American closed source large language models. And we all know American large language models, including ChatGPT and Anthropic and Grok, is all closed source. But our open source large language model performance is very close to him. Okay, so that's why we said that the Chinese open source models is leading AI at large scale. And the second trend of large language models is multimodal and agentic. In January of 2026, the open cloud is widely introduced around the world, and every developer download the open cloud and using it for production area. The cloud can make the PPT, design the code, design solution, and replay the email, and you can do everything for every single user. And so we think the agentic AI era has been begun. And this means this agentic will work 24 hours every single day instead of us. They can have me do everything. And so that means our large language models need to support long sequence because the agent will ask with very long sequence promote. So that means our large language models need to support long sequence and very low latency because the interaction between the agent and the large language modules is very quickly. It's the time maybe some microsecond is very, very quick. And another trends, important trends about large language modules is multiple module. That means the large language module is not only for text. It can hear, it can see the word. It can hear the word, it can see the word, and also it can make an interaction with the word. So that means the multimodal is also another important trend. So with these two trends, agentic AI and multimodal, we think this is a big challenge for infrastructure. That means our infrastructure need high capacity with low latency and also need to support a long sequence. We'll talk later about our portfolios. So that's, we think, the evolution of the large language models is that agentic and multimodal. Okay, and we have talked about the trends of the large language models, and we will talk about the consumption of AI. And currently, everyone use ChatGPT, and we are consumption with the terms of token, with a token. So we can say that the era of token economic had arrived, and every single user, every enterprise consuming very, very big volume of tokens. For example, about Chinese Doubao from sit-downs and ChatGPT, they have doubled their users in 2025. And the consumption, for example, the consumption of tokens about Doubao had been increased 500 times in last 20 months. That we can say that maybe in the end of this year, in the end of 2026, the daily consumption of Doubao may be more than 500 training tokens. This is a daily consumption, not a month consumption, not a year consumption. Just the daily consumption is more than 500 training tokens every single day. Okay, then because the ChatGPT and the Doubao is for personal usage. So let's take a look at enterprise level. We can give a case about most famous Chinese private bank, Chinese merchant bank, Chinese merchant bank. You can say in the last 12 months, their token consumption had been increased 5 times. The tokens is widely used in their internal system, including code assistant, client assistant, marketing assistant, office assistant. Every employee in merchant bank have an agent. This agent will do anything and for this employee every 24 hours. So that's why China Merchant Bank need to buy more than 10,000 GPU card this year, because more consumption about tokens, you need to buy much more NPU card. Okay, so this why we said that the era of token economic had arrived. Okay, so here is a summary, because you may be not very familiar with the Chinese AI trends, and I just want to share with you that Chinese AI is empowering thousands of industries, from government to education, from healthcare to oil and gas. And that means in every industry, the AI had been entering the production area, not conversation AI. We introduce the AI into production area, and we're also using different algorithms, including computing vision, natural language processing, multimodal, and intelligent decision, and AI for science. That means we not introduce large language model, we introduce nearly all AI algorithms for every industry for production area. So here is the oral summary about the AI trends. Okay, then we will talk about Huawei's AI solution and practice, and much more information about the real-world practice. And we can have a 4 scenarios. And first and foremost is public service. And why we said that public service is very important to AI areas, because there are a lot of different scenarios in public service, including smart videos for CCTV, internal operations, public service, and target compliance review, and also they have a different scenario. So that means how to design these solutions with our partner is very, very important. Very important. We need to collect the data. We need to design a platform, design the solutions, and for our customers. So Huawei provides the out-of-box Atlas AI servers and have a very good ecosystem with the Chinese open source large language models together to provide the solutions for our government. So you can say in city governance, the public certification has been improved more than 14%, and also for city operation, for internal operation and public service, we have a lot of advantage because introduction of AI. Okay, the second scenario is also widely used is for smart banking, because the AI will enhancing every financial app performance through the probabilistic data set. For example, the call centers, the OA assistants, created report, and the financial market and branch assistant in every scenario, they have been introduced to AI. But there is a mostly important issue in smart banking, because as we know, the open source large language model is not very accuracy. It's not have high accuracy in financial industry. So that means the bank needs to collect enough data set, and with super fine tuning and post training with the open source large language models, and to improve accuracy of large language models. Here we can say after introduction of local data set, the accuracy of Kelvin has increased from nearly 60% to nearly 90%. This was a big increase. It's a big advantage of introduction of a local data set, post training, and supervised tuning. Okay, so that way we said because of this introduction of the AI, the banking and the financial industry had been getting much more smarter than another industry. Okay, and another important scenario is healthcare. In healthcare, currently in Chinese hospital, a lot of AI solution has been introduced to hospital to reduce the cost, because that means that everyone can using the remote medical care, and also they have get some report from AI analysis. Okay, but in healthcare scenarios, it also have the same issue with the monkey. That means in healthcare we have a different equipment. We need to connect different data. For example, the semantic data, medical data, and the picture data, and we need to connect enough data to support our modules to analyze our report and provide the healthcare service for everybody. So that means we need to get a lot of information about this. So with our tool, with our framework, Huawei not only provide AI hardware, we also provide the framework. With our framework, we can very easily to analyze this data. Okay. And the fourth scenario is about education and research. Currently, a lot of top university has been established the centralized AI data centers for AI science research, AI talent development, and smart campus. So that means we need a tool to allocate the resource for every single developers, because in the university everyone needs to using AI and the resource is limited. So we have a very good framework to support the resource allocations, and with this resource, every colleague in the university can start their research for AI for science in different sectors. Okay, after talk about our AI solution and the real practice, I think the most important give you introduction about our AI strategy and also our portfolios, because I just talk about large language models and talk about our AI solution. But most important, I will give you more information about AI portfolios. First, our AI strategy is to build full stack AI capabilities and leading all intelligence. And as NVIDIA had just talked about the traditional five-layer K-curve architectures, Huawei also have the same product in every single layer. And for example, we have the chipset. We have ASIN chipset. It's for AI inference and for AI training. And also we have the framework for chip enablement. We call it CAN. And for AI framework, we have a manual support. And for AI development platform, we have a model arts. But besides this, our portfolios, our chipset and hardware also support the mainstream open source project, such as TensorFlow and PyTorch and VRM and Megatron. A lot of open source projects, we support them. So that means we can not only using the Huawei's platform to design our solutions, we can also cooperation with the open source platform to design solutions. So that means our solution is very flexible for every developers. Okay, so here is a detailed information about our AI servers. Our AI servers have three categories. It support inference, training, and about large language models. And the first one is about the enterprise AI servers. This is our flagship, our AI server. We call this AT815E. And the first is support FP4 format for training and inference. And the second is support the two single server connect with our unified bus to combine superpod. And this is a four mesh connection superpod. And that means these two single servers combined superpod can deploy the DeepSeek V4. We all know the parameters of DeepSeek V4 is more than 1 trillion, but it can deploy just in 2 AI servers. Okay, then we have a much large superpod. We call it air cooling superpod. It can be scaled up to more than 1024 NPU card, and it's very flexible. And another powerful superpod is a liquid-cooled superpod. It can be scaled up to 8,192 NPU card. And this superpod is very high density. And every single rack contains 64 NPU card. And mostly important, it's very flexible. It can be scaled up rack by rack. That means if you want to deploy first rack, and it can expansion, and it's very flexible. And another important advantage about this superpod means we have a unified bus. Our unified bus connect all NPU just like one chipset. That means the communication and between the chips, the NPU chipset is very efficient and very high bandwidth. Okay, so with this powerful liquid-cooled superpod, we can support large language model training and inference with very high efficiency. Okay, and besides our hardware, we also have a lot of support the mainstream open source large language models. We can say we just talk about we support the DeepSeek, Kelvin, GRM, and Gamma from Google, and Llama from Meta. Okay, and also we have cooperation with these large language models to fine tuning and to get a very good result of these large language models. And we also they support these important open source large language models, including DeepSeek, Kelvin, and GRM. Okay. Okay, so this is the last part of my presentation, because the vision of our Huawei's AI ecosystem is to open hardware and open software, enable our partners and develop talent. That means we will design our software for everything and open source our framework, AI platform to every single users. You can design your industrial solution based on our framework and platform. And also we will enable partners. That means we will support our partners to design a solution. We will provide training resource, and we have an open lab in Nigeria. Currently, we have an open lab in Nigeria to support our developers to design their own solutions. And also we will develop talent. We will a lot of training across different universities. So with this vision of our ecosystem, first we will build the technology ecosystem. We will cooperation with developers to build our ecosystem, and most important, we will to build a business ecosystem, because we need all partners to design their own industrial solutions with our open source platform, and to our customers, and to make the value for our customer. So that is our AI basic software and hardware platform, and also it's our AI strategy. That means open hardware, open software, enable partners, and develop the talent. Okay, so that's all my presentation. Thank you all of them. If any questions, you can ask. Okay. Everybody have a question, you can just ask, it's okay. All
right, thank you everybody. Please let's head back to the main hall for the closing remarks. The closing remarks of the day. Thank you very much.